because I was the manager on duty.
Okay.
And he was asking for me because I've been helping him that night.
So he asked for you specifically?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you went up there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what happened next.
He brought me into one of the rooms to look, I think it was the lights or something like that, like the lights or the TV or something like that. And when I went into the room, that's when he came on to me.
Okay. One of the bedrooms, you mean?
Yes,
okay.
This was a 2-bedroom suite.
Okay.
And he came on to me in one of the bedrooms.
And tell me more about that. I need more details. How did he come on to you?
I'm not sure. I think at one point he started giving me oral sex. I don't know the words that were used. And he had said something about loving men in suits. And then I think like the light wouldn't come on in that room, and so he had to switch to the other room. And then that's when he continued to give me oral sex, and he continued to give me oral sex, and then laid on the bed and asked for intercourse. And he already had some lube and condoms, and so we started engaging in that. And then I left after it was done, got dressed, and I left because I had to work. You know, so it was very quick. Did not finish. I got nervous, and you know.
So you didn't
because I was at work. No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you use a condom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're saying that when you went up there, you guys immediately started engaging in intercourse?
Pretty much. Like it was very quick.
There was no conversation?
It was conversation about like the lights and like the TV or something like that. I don't know exactly which situation, but I know it was probably like a technical issue or something that had brought me up to the room.
Okay. And then you go into one of the bedrooms, and you say he just starts to go down on you?
Yes, that's when he made a pass at me somehow, and then began to give me oral sex.
Okay. And you were receptive to this?
Yes.
Okay. And he was the one that was pursuing us with you?
Ma'am.
Okay.
He was a very assertive, very aggressive person.
And explain that. How is he assertive and aggressive?
Just his demeanor, the words,
What were the words? Tell me more.
I don't know. I don't know. I remember him saying something about a man in a suit. And I think, that's when he's like unzipped me and started giving me oral sex.
Okay. So the oral started in the bedroom, the first bedroom, and then the lights weren't working? Is that what you're saying?
Something like that. The lights or something was not working in that room and wanted to go to the other room.
Okay. So you followed him, he followed you. How did that work?
Yeah, because I was consensual. I was willing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So you went into the other room with him. And are you naked at this time? Are you both naked? How are you guys at this point?
No, I don't think I was ever completely naked. Because like I said, I was at work, and first I didn't want to make a mess, and I was trying to, not sweat and, and all this stuff, and yeah. And so, he had asked for intercourse, and he had a condom and lube, and so I put on the condom, and we started having sex, and I had to go because I was like starting to get sweaty, and I was like, I gotta go.
How long were you into the anal intercourse before you started?
Not very long. Probably about a minute.
Okay, so you inserted your penis into his anus, and that was it?
Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much pulled it back out and left?
Right.
Okay. Was there, what did he say? Was there anything that he said?
Well, I just rushed out of there real quick. I said, I gotta go, I don't, I'm the man trying to do, I've got to leave. You know, and so I think he gave me a card or something like that, and like his business card or something, wanted me to call him, and I said, you know, I think I alluded that this was not appropriate what I was doing or something, and left. You know, got dressed and left, and I was really kind of frazzled when I left a little bit. You know, just kind of, because it was just like, it was awkward. It wasn't something that I normally engaged in. You know, and I wasn't expecting that. It was really just kind of very quick, you know. But yeah, so I'm very surprised that he said that he was assaulted.
So he gave you his business card?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you do with the business card?
I don't know. I probably just put it in my pocket or something. I have no idea.
Okay. And then you left the room? Did he say anything else once you left? Was he upset? Was he... did he say anything?
I think he wanted me to come back later.
And did you?
Because like I said, we didn't finish or whatever. I said, I gotta go. You know, and no, I did not go back.
Okay. Have you spoken to him since that night?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Did you see him again since that night?
No.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm getting a different story from him. You said that he was aggressive, and aggressive in how he came on to you.
Yes, ma'am.
He says that you were the one that was being aggressive. It started off consensual, and then it ended up being where he said no because you were being too aggressive. Do you know anything about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Why would he say something like that? Help me understand why he would say that you sexually assaulted him if you say it was consensual on your part as well as his. I mean, why would he say, why would he make up this report?
That's the questions I have, you know, and that's why I'm here with you, because all I can tell you is my part of the story, and that's my part of the story. You know, like I said, you know, the part that worries me is that he's not right. He's a little bit off. Obviously, I am too if I participated. But he is somebody that is unpredictable, you know, and that's, so why he would say that, I don't know. Completely confused. I've never had to force my way into sex. Like, I've never had to. I know that sounds really arrogant and cocky. I've never had to force my way into any sexual behavior, especially with somebody like Mr. Manning. Like, I've never had to do that.
Did you notice that he had been drinking that night?
He's always a mess.
Okay. What do you mean, mess? Like drunk?
High, drugs. He always looks like shit. Like he's been using drugs. The people that he's with have been using drugs. His behavior is that of an addict, an active using addict. It's very clear.
Has he ever offered you anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He has not.
Have you ever seen drugs physically?
I have not actually seen drugs. I've seen alcohol.
Okay. So he drinks a lot. He's in the lobby. He's being very rude to everybody like he usually is. And this is how he is all the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Because he tells me he has a great relationship over there with
Not
everybody.
true.
So if I talk with the people over there...
Yeah, if you talk with a woman named... I'd rather you didn't, because it's kind of embarrassing.
Well, it wouldn't be about the specifics about what we're talking about, but it would be about the character of Mr. Manning, if that's to confirm your story.
Josh Goldberg, Allison Josefowitz, Chris Coleman, Joanna McCreary.
Okay, Josh Goldberg, who else?
I'm sorry.
Just give me some...
I'm like, you talk all of them, please, because they will attest to his craziness.
Okay.
Josh Goldberg, Allison Josefowitz.
Josefowitz.
Yes, Josefowitz.
Okay.
Christopher Coleman,
Okay.
Yeah, Christopher Coleman, Joanna McCreary is my director of welcome. Have you guys contacted the W?
I have.
Okay, who have you spoken to then?
Not anybody specifically, just looking for you, that's all.
Okay.
That's it.
It's kind of embarrassing. I don't work there anymore, you know, so I mean, it's not like, I mean.
Well, I didn't
know,
tell them
just-
specifically anything about it, I was just looking for you to talk to you, that's all. And they told me that you no longer work there, so that was the end of the conversation.
Okay.
So, but no, my job is to look at both sides.
Right.
I mean, I can't take one person's word over another.
Absolutely.
I go where the evidence takes me, and if you say that these people can corroborate your information that he is obnoxious and rude to the staff at the W, that's evidence that helps in your situation. So I'm willing to do that. But I'm not going to go out and tell them exactly what this is about unless I have your permission to do so. But it would be just a very basic, can you tell me more about Mr. Manning and probably about your character as well. Okay?
In the same conversation?
Probably. Yeah. Probably. I mean, they're going to come up with their own stories and ideas of what happened. I mean, I've already asked for video over there. I've already asked about you, so it's not something that they aren't aware of at this point.
Okay.
So I'll do my best to do what I can, but I can't promise you that your name's not going to come up in the same conversation.
That's fine. I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
It's just embarrassing. It's just like, it's inappropriately embarrassing.
Now, as far as having sexual intercourse with the customers at the W, is that something that you're allowed? Okay.
No, absolutely not.
So had anybody found out about that?
I would probably be losing my job now.
Okay.
Instead of then.
Okay.
Absolutely, in a second.
Okay. So nobody was aware that night that you were up there in his room for
No.
that?
No, it's not, that's not something that we practice at the W that they would allow, or even, I mean, it's completely inappropriate.
Okay. So you knew it was inappropriate?
Absolutely. And,
So tell me more about why you went ahead and did what you did with him, if you thought it was inappropriate.
Because it wasn't planned. It was, like I said, he was really aggressive when he started.
I guess my concern, what bothers me about what you're telling me is that you tell me that he's a mess. He comes in, he's high on drugs, he's drunk, he's rude, he berates the staff. Although he was nice to you that particular night, there's been nights where he's just been rude to everybody, possibly with you in the past. And yet, when you go up to his room to assist him with whatever issues he has, and he's coming onto you aggressively, you're turned on by this. I mean, I'm not understanding that.
Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't understand.
You would think that you would go there being professional, knowing the kind of behavior that he has, and here you are engaging or submitting to his what he wants. Even though he is not, I mean, is this the kind of person that you would want to be with if it was any other person? Somebody who's obnoxious and rude and I mean...
Yeah, absolutely, and
So help me understand why...
Right.
Help me understand how I can understand why you would, or he would consensually engage in sexual intercourse with you or you with him if, there was this, matter of him just not, in a sense, being attractive. Because he's saying you sexually assaulted him. That's what he's saying. That you were the one that's aggressive towards him. And he says he was very much attracted to you. But then you became aggressive because it started off consensual and then you became aggressive and that's when he said no and you wouldn't stop. So that's the information that I'm getting here. And you're saying that it was totally consensual and that he was the one that was being assertive and aggressive.
He's absolutely the one who was, because if you take a minute to be in my position as the manager, the last thing I'm going to do is come on to a guest inappropriately with the risk of being rejected for one.
Okay, so then you were attracted to him.
Then I could put myself on I could put myself in trouble. Say I had misread him.
Right.
Say I had misread.
So you were attracted to him at the time that you went up there? And made contact with him?
I don't know if you'd say attracted to him. I would say it was a situation. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like, I looked at him and said, oh my gosh, like, you know, he's a dreamboat and I want to be with him. That's not how it unfolded.
So help me understand, because, you know, when I think, you know, if I was in your position and I have somebody who's trying to come on to me, my first reaction is no, you know?
Mine.
I mean,
that's just not my first reaction.
Okay.
I
even
like
as
to
a
be
professional,
wanted.
as a manager at the
Absolutely,
W?
I can tell you I made the mistake. Yeah, absolutely. But I can also tell you that I enjoy that kind of attention. Who doesn't? Like, yeah, I made that mistake. Absolutely. But I will not own that I had any sort of aggressive or malicious or any assault-like behavior. Like, nor did he ever say no. You know what I mean?
There was never a
there was
pushing you
never
off?
a no or a pushing me off, or, like, to me that's just crazy. Like, I don't need sex that bad to force myself onto somebody. Like, that's just, I don't need to do that. That's not fun. That's not something that, that's just never been in my, like, just, no, you know?
So when he said that he yelled and tried to yell for help, is that not true either?
That's ludicrous.
Okay, so there was
That's
no
crazy.
yelling for help, there was no get the fuck off of me, nothing like that?
No, there wasn't at all. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Like, I just, no.
So what's the first thing that you think about when you hear that this man has made a sexual assault report against you? What are you thinking, even as ludicrous as it may sound, what are you thinking is the reason why he's doing this?
I can't tell you what I think he's thinking, but all I can tell you is what I thought was, this is preposterous, this is crazy.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I thought. I don't know what he was thinking, because to me, like I said, this is completely, this is just a big surprise to me. This is unnecessary, not what you're doing, because what you're doing is your job, and I totally get that. But this is absolutely unnecessary, you know, and you know, with Mr. Manning, you know, I Googled him the other day, yesterday, after you and I had talked, you know, he's got all these assault charges and all these other charges, you know, and I'm like, I can't put these pieces together. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm here willing to talk to you, because I have nothing to hide, and I'm embarrassed as well for my name to be anywhere near something like this, you know, because I've got enough stuff going on with me right now, like, without some crazy accusation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, the last thing I need is something like this that is hurtful. It's really embarrassing and shameful that I've had to talk to you about this. Do you know, not that you're shaming me, but I just feel embarrassed that, you know, and, you know, that mistake that I made, you know, is a mistake, you know, and I'm embarrassed about that. I could get a lawyer if I wanted to. I said, but if this goes further, I said, I haven't lied here, so a lawyer's coming, you know what I mean? So it's like...
So you're telling me everything, the truth about everything. You're being honest about every detail. You're not leaving anything out, anything that's important here.
No, ma'am.
Because, you know, I don't care about the drugs or the alcohol or anything else involved. What I want to know is what's the truth about what happened that particular night?
I've given you the whole truth.
Okay.
So
You didn't leave a business card with your name?
I may have, but that's not uncommon.
Okay.
That's not uncommon at all.
You don't remember?
I give business cards to everybody, especially people who are getting sweets, especially somebody like Mr. Manning who has had a really bad history. And let me also kind of tell you why I felt compelled to reach out to Mr. Manning and be an ambassador for him, is because I know he was one of our most challenging guests that we have, and he was a gay man. And I thought I could connect with him on that level, and maybe find some way to bridge that gap between him and the hotel. Because people looked the other way when he was coming, when he called, everybody's like, I'm already off. I mean, it's just like it. So when I was working that night, I don't know if it was even overnight or just if I was there late, but actually it was an overnight shift.